Today we're focusing on education and how the government can interact with children when it comes to education. And there are a lot of different things a government can do. Starting back in my days as a councilman, we had an after-school program where kids would come in, but the first thing for a child to get involved in that program, the parent had to bring that kid and register that kid. And then we also work with the school system so we can measure the progress to make sure the people who are mentoring the young kids were actually doing the work to help them catch up. And so, you know, there are a lot of different things you can do. We offer scholarships to kids. We basically now bring kids in as interns into our government, and if they're on a finance track when they head to college, we put them in the finance department. If they want to do auto mechanics, we put them there. Engineering, we put them there, all in hopes of keeping those kids in Baton Rouge and having them work for us.
We're here to both celebrate and invest into the young people of Louisiana. This is a conference for municipal leaders to come from around the state to talk about how to make their cities better. And one of the most important ways to invest into making our cities better are to invest into the young people. So really celebrating not just our young people, but actual strategies to invest into their futures.
Why are after-school programs so important?
There are a lot of reasons that they're important. There is, clearly a need for good activities for young people in the after-school hours when they might not necessarily be able to go home. School might be out and there's just sort of a need for things to do in between time. But the really great thing about after-school programming is that it gives young people a space to develop their skills and grow and explore in usually a less structured environment than the school day. And so they are able to explore new opportunities and build relationships with adults that really promote their development.
During the school day, there's a limited amount of time in which our students have an opportunity to learn, so we have to get creative and do something after school because a lot of times there's just certainly not enough time. And so once they're able to go to community centers or whatever the case may be, we're able to lend some support to them to help enhance their aptitude and also to increase their attitude about knowing that it's very important to have that type of support. So we're doing it in the city of Monroe, and other communities are doing it as well. But we have an opportunity here to learn from each other and to get best practices and perhaps take some of those ideas back to our own communities. So that's why this was so good.
What is your message here today as the mayor of Lake Charles?
Well, I have a couple of things I want to share, but one of the things that I always try to remind the audience whenever we talk about the issue of children is that if all you do is make a difference in the life of one child, it's worth it. So don't get confused, don't get concerned about numbers. Focus on making the difference in the life of one child. And odds are, you make a difference in the life of one child, you'll affect many children.
It's not just schools that are educating our young people, but it's all those support systems around them that are educating our young people. That includes our recreation systems, that includes our workforce development arms, that includes our municipalities. There are a lot of different systems that our young people go through in their lives, and it's about all of them working together to educate our young people.
What I like them to know about these programs is that they have true merit and they have true value. I mean, my life's a testament of exactly each and every one of them and how they shaped me. And then I was thinking before I came here, what would I be like if I didn't have any of these? And it's so ironic to see the opportunities I would have missed. So it's a message of that the investment and the time is really needed, and it can actually mold a kid into being the great success that we want to see today in our country.
Students spend the majority of their time actually outside of the school, and so it's important for them to be engaged in positive activities that will help them to really have hands-on experiences that connect them to the realities of life, so they can take what they learn in the classroom and apply it to the actual kind of more real-life scenarios. So a lot of it is getting out into the community, doing service learning projects, or having an internship, or even just job shadowing, meeting with other leaders in your community. So there's a real civic engagement piece to it that's really important, but it also builds those 21st century skills that better prepares young people for life after school.
What should residents and leaders across the state know about this issue?
I think that if we can educate our children at a young age, teach them the basics in not only academics, but learning to get along with others and just self-esteem techniques and so forth, you're going to have a lot less crime in the future. I think that if we can take care of these young children that don't have the direction that they need and the role models at an early age, we might be able to make some changes in their future development.
We'd like for them to know that it's very important that they get involved. And we always talk about grant opportunities, but those grant opportunities in a lot of cases are minimum. And so we have to be committed as a community to roll up our sleeves, to get together and come up with ideas and ways to enhance our efforts to support our students. And so throughout the state, those that are watching this, if you're not involved, you need to get involved, because there is a shared responsibility from the local officials, state officials, federal officials, for all of us to work together, but also for the private sector and our businesses and corporations, for all of us to step to the table and do everything that we can to help our children.
The only thing I would like to add is keep them alive. To our mayors and to our city councilmen and to our school board members who think that sometimes education should be more about math and science and less of after-school programming, they have an equal importance at the table, and sometimes you can't just succeed with book sense. You have to have that personal skills, and those knowledge and the opportunities that you gain from after-schooling programs are so important. So keep ensuring that you put your kids in programs, but also keep ensuring that you fund them, because that's the true investment that we need today.